Hello and welcome to Rush Racing League, and it is Season 8. It is round 17, and it is time for Division 4's race at the Silverstone Grand Prix. The British Grand Prix returning to my home territory, so to speak. 100% race today, 52 laps, and a one-shot qualifying. We'll bring you the results for the one-shot qualifying once they come through. Tonight, once again, for Division 4 coverage, you have myself, George Cook, also known as Crazy Good Kung Fu, and alongside me, it's Dido. Dido, mate, good to have you back in the comms box for yet another 100% race.
Yeah, mate, it is really good to be back, and obviously good to be joining you again, mate. And yeah, looking forward to this one. Obviously, a one shot straight up, and then a long race around Silverstone, which is always something to look forward to on the calendar, a must-have on the calendar. So I'm sure everyone's looking forward to it tonight, mate. But yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it will be a good one indeed. And tonight, of course, the big talking point with 4 races, including this one, left in the calendar. It is the British Grand Prix, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, the Mexican Grand Prix, and then the question mark on who's going to vote correctly or incorrectly, and we're going to see what that final round's going to look like. But it is the battle of the big 3 today. It is Ricciardo versus Pep versus Cooper the Bot. This has been heating up all season long for Division 4, and we've seen a resurgence from the Aston Martin drivers. They've come right from maybe not the best position at the beginning of the season all the way through, and finally now they've overtaken the Mercedes team. And then suddenly, Kick Sauber out of the woodwork. They had a good start, they dropped off in the middle, and they've just come back by droves, in fact. So it really is the battle between them. 293 points for Ricciardo at the moment in the Drivers' Championship, 270 for Pep, 256 for Cooper the Bot. And these 3 are vying for the championship at the moment, and it is getting intense.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. All 3 of those teams, but especially, I guess you could say, Kick and Aston in the last few, probably month or 2, have just done extraordinary things in the overalls and in the individual constructors. Kick especially, they're jumped up into 3rd now, I think, in the overalls. So yeah, massive effort from them. But yeah, one to watch tonight, of course, if they can continue this sort of dominant streak that we're seeing. Yeah.
We'll see exactly what happens in the Constructors' Championship. As you said, it's actually getting just as close. Aston Martin on top with 469 points. Mercedes with 429 points, difference of 40 points at the moment. And then 398 points for Kick Sauber. So they're right in it. You know, they're less than 40 away from Mercedes. So the top 3 really well and truly battling it out. And this is going to be a decisive round. The 100% race can really test the drivers. It's going to test them in the one-shot quali to get that qualifying position, get as far up the grid as they possibly can. And then, of course, now with a 52-lap race, which is the standard distance at the British Grand Prix, always going to be tricky, dynamic weather enabled. We don't know if it's going to rain. It's Britain. It probably will. But this is a 5.8-kilometer track, 3.6 miles. That's a total race distance of 306 kilometers, 190 miles at this incredible circuit. It has been a staple on the F1 calendar. Of course, it wouldn't be a Rush Racing League season without the inclusion of Silverstone at some point. The fact that we have a 100% race, just going to be excited for tonight. It's looking good. And at the moment, we've got some qualifying results, and it is interesting. I've just seen them come through. We'll go over to the final qualifying results in a few moments' time once they come up on the screen. But yeah, we're looking forward to this one, both of us.
Yeah, mate, we are. But it could be interesting. Obviously, this track could deliver crazy things. We've seen weather. We've seen big drama here in the past in previous races in Rush. So, but yeah, there's the results. Cooper in the Kick on pole, Pet P2 and RJ in the McLaren reserving up tonight, or reserving in tonight, really putting a show on there. So that's your top 3. And then we go a little bit down to 2A, P4, massive effort, Dynasty P5, Stone P6, Broadstar P7, Master P8, Flubber P9, Ricciardo P10, Salmons P11, Grizz 12th, Dutch 13th, Banglabar 14th, Wogjet 15th, Jenna 16th, Morty 17th. Kiwi, Deadly, and Daz rounding up the grid there. But one shot delivering once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your hat off to Dido. That was quite the effort there. Very, very good work. Yeah, the big shock there, Ricciardo in 10th place. So he's not up there on the podium. This is big for him. So he's got a lot of work to do in this 52-lap race. That said, how much does qualifying really matter in a 100% race? Obviously, the start's important, but it's going to come down to your strategy execution. It's going to come down to how much pace you've got in the race. It's going to come down to how well your car's set up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate, and setup's crucial here. I'm just seeing in the chat, Master needs an invite. He's not online for me currently, mate, so just need to make sure restarting the game, or quick reset there, hopefully, or maybe one of his teammate can get him in if he's on his end, but he's all offline for me. But that's
Right,
not
well,
what you want at the start of the race, mate. Unfortunately for Must, he's had a bit of unluck the last few races. Sorry, not really in his usual form. He's usually up in the podium position. We've seen throughout the start of the season, really delivering Aston some big points, but he's had some really unlucky races, and obviously sometimes his internet. There we go. He's joined, so he hopefully can take control on that start, and hopefully there's no issues there, mate.
Fingers crossed. Wow, okay, so that's a scary little moment there at the beginning of this race. Not ideal at all. And here we go. Oh, we've got 2A. Unfortunately, he's also left the session, so we'll need to sort that out. But the 5 lights are on, and we're about to go racing for a 100% race at Silverstone Grand Prix. And what a start from Stoin. Moontime has absolutely shot away at the start of this race. Did he cut the start there somehow? He is absolutely flying right now. Then it's Pep and Cooper the Bot fighting as we head through Abbey and now down towards Farm and Village. This is where it gets tricky. Couple of nasty little corners there. Few cars side by side. But through entry we go, and that's a McLaren gone around. It's RJK. He's gone and tumbles down the order at the beginning of this race. Super unfortunate for him, and that is what happens as you head into the apex and they exit through entry. These things tend to happen. The cars start to concertina together, and that means Cooper the Bot elevated to 3rd position as we head through Woodcote and down the back straight, Hamilton Straight. And this is a fantastic bit of a track here, actually, the main pit straight for the GT3s. Oh dear, what a start we've had, Dido. That is a disaster for some, and for some, that has gone quite well, actually.
Yeah, there's actual massive chaos down the back too with the Haas. I think Daz and Kiwi were involved in incident, maybe even with each other there. Flying Kiwi's missing an M plate, so really not the start for a lot of these guys, but still relatively close to the rest of the grid. But there's some real chaos going down at the back, mate. The moves going on everywhere here in this middle pack. But Stoyan, unfortunately, with that jump start, that's going to be huge. Drive through, and Uncle Morty he also did a jump start. So there's 2 jump starts. I'm not sure if there was a bit of an issue on the start there or what happened, but yeah, that's tough.
Something has happened there. Yeah, you're right. And the drive-through, of course, that's going to massively hurt Moontime. Whatever the case, he's got a long race to go ahead of him, so needs to get his head down, get back into that focus zone. That's the really important thing. So Pep is leading us away for Mercedes. It's been a while since we've seen the Mercedes, 2 of them up in the top 3. I think the last time I recall was Miami. So it's been a long time since we've seen the Mercedes up here. Cooper the Bot, of course, challenging for that top position. We'll be trying to bring that Drivers' Championship fight to Pep. Ricciardo in 4th at the moment, followed by Brodster F1. So 2 reserves up for McLaren today, and both of them doing well. RJK, though, turned around on lap 1. Absolute disaster for his race. Got a long way to go back. 2 agent for you. Of course, that disconnect at the start has caused him to lose control of the car, and that means he is dropping back as well. Flubber in P6 for Ferrari after Stoyan served that drive-through, and a mix of mediums and softs at the start of this race.
Yeah, interesting strategies all throughout. I'm trying to get Master in again. He's unfortunately left the session, but he's got online again. But really interesting strategy. We got hards, we got soft and medium tires, but interesting start of the race for a few of these guys. The 2 kicks are actually battling out. Not kicks, sorry, RBs are actually battling each other there through can't remember what that calls for Kane there. So interesting strategy from the team there. Just think they both got wing damage.
Generally speaking, don't fight with your teammate. That's the idea. Into Vale, we are heading now. A lovely chicane and this long, looming right-hander. You hit the double apex and down towards the Hamilton Straight. This is the Hamilton Straight. I got a little bit mixed up because I'm used to drive. Oh, nearly a bit of an issue there for P10. Dutch Verstappen and Jenneth absolutely going at it at the moment. And this is going to be through Abbey and Farm. Will they be able to get it slowed down? They do. Yeah, tricky circuit this at the end of the day. There's a lot of sweeping corners, a lot of places where you can lose a lot of traction. And you're right. Boy, oh boy, these guys have been going at it. We've also got 3 people on the hard tires, Wogjet, Deadly Fuller, and Flying Kiwi. So they'll be trying to run as long as possible in this race. Fuel will probably be the big point, though. They're going to run out of fuel before they run out of tires, probably.
Yeah, big drama at the start of this game. Race, sorry, 2A's left again and Master, and he couldn't take control when he got back in. So EA doing what EA does. So really unfortunate. Hopefully we can get him back in. Obviously it's a long race, so they might have a chance to recover. But yeah, really unfortunate. If they don't, obviously we'll be awarded a point to us try and soften the blow in some sense. But yeah, mate, interesting start to the race. The two Mercs up the top really looking good.
Oh, they're going for it. And here we are. That's an overtake. Hooper the Bot has made it up into P1 in this race as they headed down through Stowe and now into Vale. And that is a position secured for the kick driver. He loves the dry conditions. We know he does. And this is going to be his element. He's on the medium tyre as well. And only 3 laps through, Pep is already struggling a little bit on those softs, it looks like. He's going to fight back. It's a decent bit of slipstream and a nice overtake was the Hangar Straight. Formerly a hangar. They used to launch the aircraft. Nearly every British track, in fact, is a former airfield at some point for World War II. Everything got converted. So through we go, out at Aintree, and now down the Wellington Straight where the Wellington Bombers used to sit. So Pep, P2, P3, Dynasty, P4, Ricciardo, they're going for it. And this battle of 4, they've already escaped the rest of the field.
Yeah, they have, mate. They've really done well, but Merc will be frustrated with this. Pep and Dynasty and Ricciardo, they would want to have broken away here with those soft tyres. They would have been well and truly away from Cooper, but he's holding his own on the medium. He's doing an incredible job right now. He's got 3 cars behind him on soft tyres, and he's held them for 4 laps. Like, he is doing a very good job. Master, mate, you're not online for me, so you just try and re-add me. My EA's it's Dito, just straight like my Discord.
Hopefully we can get that sorted for Master as soon as possible. Of course, the key battle here is where is Ricciardo? He's in 4th place. So we've got the top 3, the big 3 battle, you should say, is right here in this group of 4. Dynasty is the only one there who's not really in it for the Drivers' Championship at the moment, certainly in it for the Constructors' Championship, and Mercedes hopes of getting back up the top end of the Constructors' Championship in Division 4. While we've got you all here, a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, Rush Racing League. You're watching here on Twitch. Give us a follow. You're able to join if you jump into the Discord as well. Jump into the Academy Series. Get yourself a pair of wheels and go racing. That is how this league works. And we're gearing up to head towards the end of Season 8. Season 9 will be beginning later in the year. Big thanks to our sponsors, AI369, S-Nation, Pagnian, and SimLabs. For all the work they do. And here comes Pep once again, and it's going to be another overtake. And that is all said and done down the Wellington Straight. Easy peasy. Lots of slipstream here, Dido.
Yeah, mate, massive slipstream. And Cooper, unfortunately, obviously losing that P1, but it was bound to happen. And now Dynasty's having a sniff up the inside too, but decides better of it. Cooper might just feel like he might just want to tuck behind and keep that DRS. He's probably had enough of trying to tow him along now. So he might be just looking like he might just want to get at the back, save those mediums. He's in for a bit of a longer stint than these guys. I'm not sure. I think the softs will probably get to like maybe lap 15, lap 17 before you might. I'm not sure what strategy these guys are actually doing with the soft tyre. So it could be, Cooper goes up the inside, gets the move done on Pep, back for P1.
Lovely move at Stowe. That's what we saw him do a little while ago. He's able to really maximize the speed through the S's, the Maggots and Beckett sector of this race, which is where you can really push the apexes, you can push the exits, and get a lot of speed as you head down that long straight. I think that is the longest straight there, which is the Hangar Straight just before that Stowe corner. So Cooper's got the best advantage there. And this is really working so well for him. Being on the medium tire and being able to hold up a bunch of people on a soft strategy, it means that when your time comes and there is a yellow in Sector 1, we've just seen it. Oh, dear. That's Dynasty. Dynasty is, I think, just had a little bit of a spin there. So he's now out of the top 3 group. And the battle of 3 is truly the battle for 3 people. I think Ricciardo might have been involved in that, Dido. Yeah, I think he was, because he's now lost position as well.
Yeah, 2A, yeah. Massive drama, mate, there. And that looks like in the chat, Plugger saying Ricciardo has spun Dynasty there. So, bit of drama up the top. And he's actually lost 3 seconds now to the top 3, so he'll be fuming with that. I wonder if he can't see any damage on the front of that Merc with the current angle I have on board with Dynasty, but Master has joined. 2A is unfortunately retired. He couldn't take control, so he will get awarded a point because of EA.
Oh dear, yeah. Thank you, EA. Thank you for the net coding. Here goes Pep once again. So it's going to be the typical thing we see when they just go back and forth and back and forth. And Cooper can't hold on that time through Stowe. He's had the move twice in that corner, and now Pep says, I'm going to do one on you too. Here, this is how it's done. Both of them showing each other how it's done through Stowe. A nice run through Vale, and out we go towards the checkered flag area. And there we go, across the timing line. So Ricciardo's got a bit of work to do now. He's 1.5 seconds behind. He's lost that DRS, which is absolutely massive. Dynasty will be spewing. And then, of course, it's Grizz. So the now full-time driver at Kick alongside Cooper the Bot in 5th place, leading Broadster in P6, the McLaren reserve today, who's under a lot of pressure from Flubber, who I believe is reserving up today for Ferrari.
Yes, he is, mate. He is doing an incredible job up in P7, and this little battle here that we're running on board with has been brewing for a couple of laps now. I've been keeping my eye on it. Broadstar has made his defensive move, and Flubber's going to go around the outside and try and get it done. He has to go late on the brakes there, but Broadstar gets the later brake and actually gets the advantage. That's a really interesting spot to go for a move there, because that's a sweeping right left-hander, and your car just naturally wants to pull to the right side of the track. And now Salmon's just sniffing up the side of Flubber, maybe thinking about a move. But a couple of battles all throughout the grid. Dutch chasing down RJ. He's about 2/10 off him too, and up the top with Pep and Coop brewing as well. So I think throughout this race we're going to see multiple little battle packs fuming, and hopefully we can get Master. He can take control and start reeling back the rest of the grid.
Yeah, at the very least, Master will have a good time doing lots of overtakes from the back of the field. We know he's well up there in terms of his pace. And yeah, to your comment there on Brooklands, do not overtake around the outside of Brooklands. It doesn't work. There's no grip out there. Speaking of grip, Flubber is struggling with grip at the moment. He'll go into the fast sweeping right-hander of Abbey. There we go, all the way through. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is the corner, the famous corner, Max Verstappen and Hamilton, where things kind of came to blows a little bit in a very infamous Silverstone race. That rear end of the Ferrari of Flubber looks really unsettled at the moment.
Yeah, it could be running a bit lower rear wing, or maybe something in the suspension, giving it a little bit of grief. Maybe, you never know though, when he swaps tyres, it may suit a different tyre better. Masters left the session again, so probably couldn't take control. But yeah, on that note, you never know too. If these guys may be expecting rain, they could run a different setup as well, which is always common. But here, so Flubber, they have to be careful there. It's early, lap 8 out of 52. You could cook those tyres pretty quick, and if he's going long on the medium, that could hurt his strategy. Just watch that, because through these corners he's running through now, that is not the place you want to be snapping the rear out on.
No, not at all. It actually looked a lot more stable through there. It might have had a little bit less apex speed, or certainly they're not quite as violent. The change of direction is not quite as violent as other places. He's actually going to go for the move and flub around the outside of Broadster in the McLaren at Stowe. Stowe is just the best place to go for the overtake. Will it be an overtake back, though, into Vale, up the inside braking zone? Whoa! Big moment for Broadster. That's going to let T. Salmons have a little bit of a chance as well. And they've made contact, and Salmons is around. That's a disaster for the Red Bull driver. It was a nice attempt. Saw the McLaren get a little bit unstable as he tried to make the overtake on the inside of Vale. And unfortunately, contact was made as they headed out onto the Hamilton straight through club. Not great.
No, mate, no. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like more like the contact model than anything. Just getting locked wheels. Salmons doesn't have any damage on his car, but that's really unfortunate. He was doing really well. He's dropped down to P8, 5 seconds. But not the worst place to be. Still reel in, but that will definitely be investigated, I'd say, after this race, and I will invite Master.
Yep, we'll get that done. And yes, of course, all the incidents that are reported will be investigated after the race as well. Meantime, we return to the battle for P1. Pep and Cooper going at it. Half a second gap, though, and look how quick Cooper is through the exit of Beckett. It's absolutely wild. That's why he's been getting such a good advantage into Stowe. He's able to get past well before the braking zone, and that is Cooper's advantage right now, even on the medium tire. Now, you were saying it was sort of, somewhere around 9-10 laps for the softs, or thereabouts, and we're just coming up to that point. We're on the 9th lap of this 100% distance race, so those mediums for Cooper probably coming into their own at this point, whereas the softs are just starting to creep off that cliff.
Yeah, they'll try and run them for a fair bit longer. I'd say more around lap 15, but they'll lose their edge now. They won't be as quick as the mediums. The medium will be the optimal tyre at the moment, then the hards will kick in a bit later. But I'm just more interested to see when these guys pull the trigger and what tyre they go on. It's a long stint now to jump on the hards, even if you pitted it.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, we just jumped to the battle that's happening for P14, and Stoin, Deadly Fella, and Daz going side by side, nearly 3 wide, as they headed into Abbey. And it's a bit of a scary place to go ahead and do that. So just we'll keep an eye on this battle as well. But this is the recovery drive from Stoin. He did, unfortunately, get a bit of an early start in the race, and that was a drive-through assigned to him immediately. So there you go. That is what happens if you do get a jump start in a Formula One race here in Rush Racing League. Bear in mind as well in chat, if you want to get a full onboard lap, you can redeem your channel points in Twitch and request that, and tell us who your driver that you'd like to select, and we can go on board with them as we see the lead change once again, Dido.
Yeah, I think they'll continue to happen for a fair while. They've got no one really close to them. Obviously, Ricciardo's 2 seconds off him, which isn't that bad, but it's not enough to pressure him, so they can battle it out. They can do whatever they want here. They just need to try and limit the battling a little bit, otherwise they will let Ricciardo back into DRS. It's interesting, though, that Pep's holding his own on those softs still. I think Cooper will start to kick it up a notch. Those tyres will definitely be in a better window. So he'll probably start to break away, and we'll probably see the softs start to dwindle off even more and pit stops start commencing there you go, Stoin. It's the first of the soft runners to pit.
Yeah, indeed. And we've had a request for an onboard lap with Grizz, so we're on there now. And we'll take this opportunity to talk through some of the laps. So here we go, braking zone at the 50. This is Brooklands. Got to get it turned in nicely. A bit of a late apex on that one. You head into Luffield, one of the trickiest corners on this. It just feels like it goes on forever. The right-hander, get on the power, use the exit curve as much as possible. This is where the GT3s usually come across and take the checkered flag. Not the case in Formula One, as we all well know. Now into a fantastic bit of corner here. It's Copse, famous right-hander for a number of reasons. That might be where Hamilton and Verstappen happened. But this is Maggots Beckett's Chapel. So you go left, you go right, you go left again, and you go right. Again, they get consistently tighter, those corners, and you've got to nail the apex, because here you go down the hangar straight, former position of the hangars for the Air Force runways, and now Stowe. Hard braking zone, right-hander, and I'll leave the rest of the lap up to you, because we're heading now towards Vale.
Yes, he's coming up here. Just got to be careful. Oh, big lock up there, which might hurt his lap a little bit, but it won't be too much. He's just trying to reel in Dynasty, 2.8 seconds, and he comes across the line to round off the onboard, but solid lap there. He is doing well. He's breaking away from Flubber, 1.7 seconds off him, so he will be safe. And those, like we said, those mediums, compared to the guys in front, I would say will be starting to really ramp up. In saying that, though, he isn't catching Dynasty too much yet, so just keep an eye on that gap, 2.9 at the moment. See if it gets down a little bit in these further laps. I'd say around lap 15 we'll really see those softs struggle.
Yeah, and we'll obviously start seeing a flurry of pit activity. There's some suggestion on the strategy today. You could run the mediums for potentially 20, or if you're really brave, 24 laps. Maybe jump onto a second set of mediums and then do a short soft stint at the end, or you could be going for 3 stint and do all on softs. It's entirely possible. 15, 15, 15 will almost get you to the end, but I don't know if the lack of lap time on that strategy is actually going to be worth it.
Yeah, I think track position is pretty crucial here as well. You want to be in the DRS of someone. You don't want to fall too far off. And obviously safety cars, they are common here, but they're not as common as some of the other tracks we've had leading up to this weekend. So that you wouldn't really count on a safety car. It doesn't really look wet, like it's going to rain today. So yeah, you don't want to be pitting if you don't have to, as Jennifer gets the job on Aston for Banglabar up into P9. So there's a few moves still happening throughout the grid. There's a few battles actually starting to ramp up too. And interesting, the hard tyres are starting to look like they're starting to come alive a bit. Deadly getting the job done on Dutch too, down in P13. So there's a lot of moves happening, mate.
Yep, certainly are. And we just caught that one on stream. A nice move into Stowe for the Williams driver and up into P13, as you just said. Of course, there's a few penalties, or a couple of penalties, I should say, out there at the moment on track. And yeah, we've actually had an early pit stop. We've had Stoyn come into the pits. So he's served a drive-through, and he's come to the pits for fresh mediums. Interesting strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
Yeah, he'll definitely have to pit again. He'll be probably trying to go to about 20 laps on those tyres and then hards to the end. But it hasn't gone to plan for Stoyn. That drive-through at the start of the race really would have hurt. So he will have a big recovery to do. And there's a lot of cars with damage, I must say, as we saw Deadly has a wing damage that we're riding a ball with. That's going to hurt him, and he looks like he is really struggling on this helicopter view compared to that RB behind through those fast sweepers. He can't keep it on the apex, so as Flying Kiwi gets a 10-second, that's huge, and he's retired in the pits, and that's massive.
Okay.
52.
Yeah, very early retirement there. And, of course, that has triggered a yellow flag as well, just on the pit straight. So, yeah, 10-second penalties, not great. But in a 52-lap race, it's not as much as it may seem. You know, when we go to our 50% races, we're doing 27 laps at a circuit. 10 seconds is a lot. But for 10 seconds in a full race like this, you can make that up. You just got to get your head down and keep going. So hopefully it's maybe it's a hardware-related issue as opposed to something else. Maybe something's gone wrong with the hardware or something else. But if you've got a 10-second penalty, keep on going, I think, in a race like this.
Yeah, you always want to keep on going, and it's always frustrating, of course, when the team gets you in to drive, and obviously, yeah, you can get to the end, and the points go down to 15, so it's always likely you're going to get some type of point. You just stick it out to the end, but that's unfortunate for Haas there, as Flubber gets the job done on Broadstar. He's back into P6.
This is great stuff. A true battle. Ferrari versus McLaren. Absolutely love to see it. And yeah, these two have been absolutely equal on pace at the moment. Both of them reserving up for their respective teams, and both of them on the medium tyre. Sorry, yes, both of them on the medium tyre as well. So this is really an even Stevens battle. They've been going back and forth, similar to the Cooper and Pep battle that's happening at the top. By the way, Ricciardo has fallen now 4 seconds behind. That is the value of the slipstream. Speaking of DRS and slipstream, there you go, Broadster using it to maximum effect, gets the overtake done in Stowe. Now we'll have to defend into Vale, holds the middle of the road and allows no room on the outside or the inside for Flubber to make another move. But Flubber's still right there, and they're probably going to be stuck together like superglue for a little bit longer. Let's see if there's a move into Abbey. There's a twitch left and a twitch right, and you just don't know.
Yeah, this is getting very close here. Broadstar's just putting the car in the right spots to not let that Ferrari through, but he will be a matter of tyre, and they're both on the same tyre, but Flubber's got 100% battery. Like, he's really ready to get this move done, as Broadstar's way lower. He's down on 25%, so he's pushing to try and hold off Flubber here. Flubber's reserving up.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think is he reserving up? No.
Flubber is reserving up, I believe. Broadstar, I don't know. He is a reserve, but I don't know if he's reserving up or not. We also have had a request from Vantage TV. Sorry, we did catch that, Vantage TV. That is a full lap on board with Stoyn. So here we go. It's formerly known, the man formerly known as Moontime. It is Stoyn driving for Ferrari. Here's your full onboard lap, and we'll continue to talk about the battles and Stoyn's driving, because he has actually been a staple of this season so far for Division 4, and he's really had some good results.
Yeah, he has. This is definitely not a usual situation, him jumping the start there, but I'm sure we'll see him reel in some serious points tonight still. I think he's got a long way to go, and a lot of things in this race can still happen. So he will be one to watch, and he's only 2 seconds now off Asif, who's pitted, so don't discount him. He one to watch at the end, and there's still a lot of pit stops to come. It'll be interesting to see what he does though on his strategy. He's pitted already a lap. He's done 4 laps on mediums, so he'll be in a little bit of a different strategy to pretty much everyone around him. So it could work. Never know.
It could work. It's going to take some consistency and some real focus, and yeah, I don't know if he may have pitted a little bit early. The drop off on the tyres towards the end of these stints is going to be really tricky. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him jump onto the hards for the stint, but I guess at this point he wants to have the grip to make the overtakes. He needs to catch up to the back of the cars. We've got one in front of him right now, Alan Mardi, and then once he gets past that, he'll see the others pit, and this is going to be the undercut of the century. And if it does work, kudos to Stoyd, because he will have undercut them by about 8 laps or so, I suspect, by the time we get to the pit stop. So it will be quite the strategy execution if he gets it done. But nonetheless, that is your onboard lap with Stoyan. We're going to return to some of the battles around the grid now. And one of those is Dutch Verstappen and Deadly Fuller. They are still going at it. And look at this train of cars.
Yeah, big train. A lot of cars battling in this DRS. Master starting to recover a little bit now too, back in, which is really good to see. And these guys have been pretty much battling since the start of the race. They've brought in a few, a few cars going everywhere there. They've brought in a few extras now. There's a little bit longer of a train than it was before, but it'll be interesting to see. Maybe a pit early we'll be able to break away from them. Geez, Master really looking like he's
he's a man on a mission right now. He's been disconnected 4 times from this lobby. He's made it back in. Oh, big dive for Dutch Verstappen. So Deadly Fella gets pushed out of that one. Master's going to take advantage of it too. They're nearly 3 wide into Vale. This will never end well unless they drive beautifully, which they do. And Master takes 2 for 1. And buy 1, get 1 free. There you go. And oh, a little bit of contact there. Front wing damage for, I believe that is Dutch Verstappen, who's now lost the position again. Grizz is caught up to the back of Dynasty, by the way, just up the front for P4 and P5, but we are well and truly locked into this battle right now. It is getting spicy.
Yeah, it is, man. That was a crazy pass there from Dutch on Deadly, and Deadly really, with that wing damage, just couldn't pull the car up, I think, and it just allowed the RB to go for it. And look at them now, snaking down for trying to get this DRS, and it looks like Dutch is going to go for it here on Deadly. He gets it done. Once again, we're seeing the understeer on the front of that Williams just really dampened him, but he's going to stick it on the inside still and hold his line and actually defend, but he needs to be careful. He's lost DRS now of the guys ahead. But look what tyre he's on compared to every single car around him. They're all on softs. Lap 16 now, or they've done 16 laps on that soft tyre. They would be screaming. Dutch just cut the corner. Got that on stream. Big free second there.
Yeah, we smelled that one coming. We saw the attack angle into the corner there, Chapel, and yeah, that's unfortunately what you get when you cut the line. Not ideal. And here goes Uncle Morty on Dutch Verstappen as well. He's going to get that done nice and easy. And yeah, honestly, you're absolutely right. Wogjet's done a fantastic job with the hards. He's holding all these guys up. He's backing their strategy into what he is doing, and that's an immediate pit stop for Dutch Verstappen needs to, so he can repair the front wing damage he's got. Looks like Deadly Fella does have a missing left front end plate, and that is not going to help him either as Uncle Morty's on the attack yet again for RB. Let's see if he can do it. Oh, it's on the inside line, does get out of it, which is the sensible thing to do through Abbey, and Deadly Fella will live to drive yet another corner, I think is the phrase. At the back of the top, quick update for around the grid. Cooper and Pep still going at it. Gap is still at about half a second. Grizz is now going for it, though. So it's the Kick Saubers. One's being attacked and the other's doing the attacking for 4th place on Dynasty.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, mate? There's a bit of a move here with Grizz anyway while we're talking about it, as he gets the job done on Dynasty. No fight there from the Mercedes. His tyres just won't be up to scratch anymore to fight off that Kick, and Kick will really come alive here now. They're the only guys up the top on the medium, so watch those guys start to break away here. You can see how much traction he has opposed to the Mercedes behind out of that corner. He's really struggling to get the traction down, so it'll be interesting what the guys do here. I think Cooper and Grizz will go a little bit longer and maybe even try a one stop. They might even go really long on the medium and then chuck the hards on, and then that'd be an interesting strategy. But one stop might be a bit of a dangerous move, but it could be a cool one if it worked. I mean, you could really gain some time.
Yeah, I mean, do something cool and gather some fans and maybe not win a race, but you got to make it 26 laps to get the half distance here. So it is possible, but as soon as if you start to lose time, you're going to lose time at the end of those stints. And so if anything happens, if you get damaged, if you end up in a situation where you have an accident or get into an accident of some kind, suddenly that strategy is all sort of fragile. Whereas, if you go for that 2-stop, you've got a little bit of breathing room. You can fight a little bit harder. You can feel a little bit more confident, I think, out on track when you're fighting with the others. And that could be key. But, the undercut here could be strong on the 2-stop strategy. And with the time loss that could be experienced by the 1-stoppers, that could potentially put them in a bad position. We'll see how long the mediums last. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still surprised to see the soft tyres out there for 18 laps. It's pretty stunning stuff, and that is a big battle still going on between Broadster and Flubber.
Yeah, it's really heating up. Their moves just going crazy now, and these guys haven't stopped since we were last on board with them. They've swapped about 10 times, and really hurting their race, I would say, because I think they're allowing the guys ahead to just get further and further away with the amount of battling they're doing. But I'm also aware that the hard tyre on this track is actually not the optimal tyre, like it is, obviously never is, but it is apparently quite slow here. So a lot of guys I know try and avoid jumping on it. So you could see even some strategies like soft, medium. So that could be an interesting strategy to watch out for too. We do see the Mercs up the top on the soft still, obviously Ricciardo as well. So you could see a soft, and then a medium long stint at the end, which could be the optimal strategy. Like we said, track time, you gain so much time here on a quicker tyre. So just a few strategies to watch out for tonight, man.
And the Division 4, once again, providing us a plethora, a true buffet of different strategies. And we have to do the math here in the commentary box. Thank you all very much for that. So it's putting our brains to work, which we absolutely love, of course. And here we go again. Flubber will be trying to make that attack through Maggots and Beckett's and now out towards Stowe. It's a good overtake. It's a standard overtake. It's someone we've seen about 25 times already this race. And through we go. Very nice overtake. But that'll come back once again into the pits. Comes Ricciardo, and there we are. He is into the pits. I don't know if he's got damage. We did get asked in chat whether he's got damage or not. I don't know. I don't know if he did. Might have been whistling at worst a front end plate, but judging by that stop, Dido, I don't think he was stopped long enough to really see any repaired damage on that car.
No, there was definitely no wing change. He's actually chucked on the medium, so he's going for a different strategy than I thought he would. So interesting here. We'll see what he does, and where he comes out, he's going to come out P9. So really good, solid race so far for Ricciardo. And he's in clear air, which is crucial. He'd probably like to be in a bit of DRS, but he's on the fresh tyre now. So I think we'll see the guys up the top start to react, especially the guys on the soft tyre. They won't want to stay out much longer to avoid Ricciardo jumping them.
Certainly. And Daz unfortunately picks up a 3-second penalty. He's just pitted as well. 1 lap on the medium tyres so far. So a number of those out there. 5 drivers so far have come in for their earlier pit stops, or 6, I should say. T. Salmons with a penalty as well. So Broadster and Flubber, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief on that one. But yeah, for Ricciardo, I mean, this has to work out. He's 23 points ahead of Pep in the Drivers' Championship. And with Pep and Cooper right up there and him sort of falling back by 4 seconds, he needs a really good bit of undercut to happen here. And he needs it to work well. If it doesn't work well, those two are just going to leapfrog away. And Pep's just biding his time right now. He's clearly got the pace. The soft tyres are working beautifully on that Mercedes. Makes me wonder what kind of pace Cooper, though, will have on the softs once he switches to them. Because he's been on the mediums for 21 laps.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we're going to see some interesting... I think Ricciardo is actually going to get a massive jump on these guys. If you're looking at the deltas, he's dropping off 2/10 pretty much a corner on Jennifer Head. He's slowing down a little bit now, of course, when I said that. But, yeah, he's really picking up the pace. So these guys ahead might want to think about maybe calling a pit stop. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long they're going to go. And we see Flubber go for another move on Broadstar and get a job done again.
Well, we're used to seeing this for P1, P2, aren't we, Dido? Now we're seeing it in P5 and P6 as well. If this was Ricciardo up there for Pep, Ricciardo and Cooper are the repeat offenders when it comes to switching the positions back and forth, and it's often been resolved in the final lap. Last week, of course, at Suzuka, it was resolved in the final lap, and we had a mega battle between Grizz and Ricciardo all the way to the line, and Ricciardo just made that beautiful sweeping move around the outside of Casio Triangle and just pipped him to the line. It was 0.100 of a second between them as they crossed the line, so a true photo finish. Here comes Broadster, and it's another overtake. Yeah. Surprise there.
And there you go, Dynasty's pitted. So we'll see what tyre he chucks on, because he's trying to probably react to Ricciardo to limit that damage and see. Looks like medium. So he's done the exact same strategy as Ricciardo.
Well, let's see, because Ricciardo's just coming through, just onto the back part of the pit lane straight now. Dynasty is creeping on through. He's got to go under the tunnel, of course, at this stage, so he'll pop out just after this corner. No, Ricciardo is ahead. And there you go, Ricciardo back up into technically P3 overall. Is the gap closer, though? It does seem to be.
Yeah, it is definitely closer, and Ricciardo's just left the session.
Oh, Ricciardo has left the session. Okay. So we are going to do the work to get him back into the session as soon as possible. For the moment, his car will be driven by AI. And so that means that he's likely going to fall right back into Dynasty's waiting hands, let's put it that way, and there will be an easy overtake that's going to happen quite quickly. That is a disaster for Ricciardo. With 3 races remaining after this, he's in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, but only by 23 points. So this is a key one. He needs to be up there in the top 3, so hopefully we will get him back in as soon as humanly possible. Fingers are indeed crossed. And yet again, the McLaren and Ferrari battle continues at this stage, and the gap between P1 and P2 has actually started to get a little bit wider. So Pep's soft tyres, 23 laps he's done on those. Look maybe like they're starting to wear out just that extra little bit. There's Dynasty already past Ricciardo, unfortunately for him. So that is going from bad to worse for Ricciardo. He was falling off the back of Cooper and Pep after contact with Dynasty earlier on at Farm. And both of them fell off the back of this, what was a 4-way battle, now a 2-way battle for the lead of this race.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate with Ricciardo's disconnect. He's not online for me. So I'll just continue to refresh. Hopefully, here we go. Got him. So I'll send him an invite. Hopefully he can get back in, and no problems there. Hopefully he can take control. That's really unfortunate. EA is terrible, obviously. There's not many more rounds on this game, and then we'll be on the new one. But yeah, unfortunate there, but we'll move on, and hopefully we can get him back in, no problems. But the gaps are starting to wind up a bit crazy. Come through. It's not really many people in the DRS as we've seen earlier, as opposed to the top 2. So the pit stops have opened it up, and obviously the tyre wear too has really opened it up, and we'll see Cooper, the leader, react. So he's going in the pits on the softs. Pits, sorry, not Cooper. And he is going to chuck on their mediums sitting in those pit stops there, and he goes on the mediums the same as his teammate and Ricciardo. So we'll see where he comes out and see if his teammate actually gains a little bit ground on his teammate. He was a fair way back before.
Yeah, this will be quite interesting. So Dynasty's just coming through the last couple of corners now before they head back onto the pit straight, and Broadster will go up ahead of Pep. Interesting. But of course Broadster and Flubber, of course, both yet to pit in this race, and that's a new fastest lap by Dynasty Sparrow, 1:30.595. Good lap there by Dynasty, so he's really taking advantage of these new tyres and really sending it. And he's going to be out there for a while. It does make me wonder if we see Cooper and Grizz and Broadster and Flubber all stay out to maybe lap 27 or so. They might just be doing medium soft in the one-stopper. And that means that the 2 Mercedes are also going to be doing essentially the same thing, but in reverse, and trying to go to the end of the race, because they're technically 2 laps short from half-race distance.
Yeah, I'm so lost with the strategies now. Everything I thought was going to happen isn't, so I'm not sure. It'll be very interesting to see when we see, and obviously a safety car could really change things up. I mean, can you imagine that? Now that would be a massive shake-up, but yeah.
Yes. For entertainment purposes, purely entertainment purposes, as we know, Dido.
Yeah.
There we go. Pep makes his way on through the Ferrari, who's on very old tyres, so there's a 9,000 a second lap start time difference between the two at the moment, so very expected overtake from Pep there. Gets it done nice and cleanly without even having to go into a corner for it. Yes, we shall we shall see. Safety car. We've reared the ugly head of the safety car's ghost. We'll see if it does end up popping into this dimension. If it does end up doing that, that will collapse the field, and there'll be an opportunity for those who haven't pitted to come into the pit, or if they've all pitted by the time it happens, if it happens, I won't say when, just if, then it'll allow them to do another pit stop get onto a soft tyre, or maybe just stay out for track position? That'll be the tricky question for them to answer. We shall see. Let us know in chat. Who is your prediction at the moment? We're just at half race distance now. And there we go. Pep making his move back up into P3. This is looking like good undercut territory if Cooper stays out there too long.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I'm just wondering what they're going to do here. They're probably hoping for some sort of safety car, or they're going to maybe go a little bit longer, maybe lap 30 and go maybe a one stop. Who knows? Yeah, could be massive if they do that. But this is allowing Pep to gain a lot of time on them, obviously, and he will jump them well and truly by the time they come in the pits. He's 14 seconds. I think the pit stop here is, what is it? I can't remember. It's,
Chat,
I think
let us know.
It's quite long. I think it's one of the longer ones on the calendar. So yeah,
naturally it would be. Oh, Broadster has decided to take the position back. Okay. Oh, and Ricciardo's gone again. Oh, we are absolutely gutted right now. So one of the big three who are in the battle for the championship, in fact, our championship leader in the Drivers' Championship for Division 4, has unfortunately retired from this session.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Says it all.
Yeah, it doesn't cause a safety car, and his car has disappeared already. And obviously, I think that was probably just the take control thing. But yeah, not good. Never want to see that. And Marty's teammate has pitted.
Yes, he has 26 laps on the soft tyre there for Master, so he has done incredibly well. Jumps onto the medium tyre, so this is really now the tyre of choice. Only one person opting for the hards in the second stint, and that is Dutch Verstappen down in P16. But 3 drivers from a race where we started with 20 on the grid. We have 3 DNFs in here already, which is really, really unfortunate. And commiserations out to Ricciardo. For Cooper and for Pep, this is probably good news for them in terms of their championship. Pep and Cooper will be getting a bunch of points. And this Drivers' Championship, it is not going to cool down at all. We've got 3 races to go after this. We're going to Saudi Arabia for round 18, then Mexico for round 19, and then it's the community voted round for round 20, the finale of the season. All worth points, all important for the drivers and the team's championship. And wow, what a swing for Aston Martin. And it seems to have all started in their home country, in England.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, they were looking really good at the start. Obviously, Master disconnect. Then Ricciardo, and still got 1 car on the grid. Hopefully, he can sort of limit the damage, I guess. He's P13 currently, so he's still in the points. But, yeah, not good. But Kick right now would be very happy with the position they are in. But I don't know when they're going to pit. They're down to 13 seconds gap now, 12.9. And we've got the Josh Plugger saying about 25 seconds in the pit lane. So Pep will have a fair gap on them after they do decide to pit. But he obviously will be on older tyres. So, yeah, very interesting to see. Yeah. Rodstar Club also going long on the mediums too, probably mimicking the top 2.
Yes, indeed, and we'll see if that works out for him. In the moment, we should be about a lap away from all the medium runners who are now on the 27th lap of their medium run, except for Stoyd, who's on 17 laps, so he's got about 10 to go before he'll need to make another pit, and that'll put him around lap 38 or so. So it'll be a stint on the soft at the end, I suspect, for Stoyd. And we should be seeing them momentarily, but no, Cooper is going to go for another lap. He's on the 28th lap of those tyres' life. Technically the 29th, I should say, but 28 laps all done. Commiserations to Ricciardo. He's in chat, ruining his unfortunate luck today, mate. We're gutted for you, and we hope that obviously this won't affect the championship drive, and obviously take the motivation, take that into the next 3 races, and give him heck, because that's all at this point that you can do. For now, watch the rest of the battle, the entertainment we've got for you guys tonight. Of course, Division 2 coming up for your viewing pleasure after Division 4 race is complete. And with 2 Mercedes up there at the top of the grid, this looks like quite the big swing. And actually, for Kick, you know, if they can manage this against the undercut that Pep is doing on them right now on the medium tyre, they are in a fantastic position. They could be potentially P2 in the Constructors' Championship at the end of this race. Mercedes could bridge the gap to less than 10 points to Aston Martin. And it just feels like this unraveling of all the hard work that Aston Martin have been putting in and all the race wins they've had. Suddenly, their luck has really, really changed. And I say that, and Master wants to prove me wrong. He's taken the fastest lap of this race. Everyone's quite happy to be on fresh grip at the moment. Jenneth on the soft tyre for this next stint.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's one of the only, well, he is the only one that's decided to do that. So he'll be super rapid, probably get fastest lap too. But yeah, he will obviously have to pit again, like most of the guys will. I don't think there'll be anyone going to the end on their current tyre. And they're still going around the 2 kicks. They haven't pitted yet, lap 29 on those tyres. So they would be burning now. And Kaio is saying they're going to pit lap 32.
Wow.
So that's interesting. That's a very precise prediction.
We did also have confirmation. It's about 24-second pit stop time loss, or 24 to 25 seconds. So it is an incredibly long pit stop. So the one-stopper is absolutely the choice that everyone's going to be opting for.
Yeah, track position hurts. And you can see how spread out everyone is right now. I mean, there's massive gaps. The only real battle at the moment will be probably Jenneth. You'll start seeing him, obviously, and RJ down in P12, but Jenneth is super quick. He's going to be passing through everyone on these softs, but he will be having to be careful. There's a lot of slow tyres around him.
Like a sharp knife through well-cooked fish and chips, surely. One lap on that soft tyre, and yeah, he's looking fast. He did have a lock-up, though, just a moment ago, so that's not going to help his cause. Another little one there as they head through farm and village. And he needs to make this overtake happen quickly, because Deadly Fuller's on Alamadi, correction there, on 15-lap-old hard tyres. So this needs to be done right now. This needs to be done into Brooklands. It's a little bit of a look there from Jenneth, but he's not able to do it. So Alamadi got a good drive out there. He's got some pace.
Yeah, he is. Definitely, mate. And RJ gets it done, no problems on Deadly down in Pete. Oh, actually, there was a bit of contact there, and now that's allowed Master to come in. Sorry, mate, I was just distracted with that battle because, yeah, we'll jump back up to her. Yeah, Jenneth is going one to watch as we see the pit stop start now. Grizz, Broadstar, and Flubber all calling it. So lap 31.
Here we go. Yeah, there's a couple of battles. There's the tapestry, so to speak, of the pit stops and the strategies do seem to diverge. And now they start to converge. Now we don't know where to look. That's Jenneth making the move. P12 Master has made the move, as has RJ on Deadly Fuller. Those 29-lap-old hard tyres, he needs to throw them in the bin as soon as possible. Grizz has come into the pits. He's come out on soft tyres. No surprise there, but he's behind both Dynasty and Pep. So this is the trade-off, isn't it, Dido? You stay out there. You've been undercut on the strategy by jumping onto the medium tyre. And essentially, the softs were able to keep up with the mediums. So it's basically a longer stint on a tyre that will degrade more over its lifetime on the mediums. And now the soft tyre for Grizz, he's got a lot of time to make up. 6 seconds is the gap to Dynasty. And he should be able to do that, but he's got only 21 laps to do this in. So without a slipstream, how possible is it? We'll see. Cooper is in the pits now, and it's a 19-second gap between Pep and Cooper. I think Pep will be in the lead of this race. The question is going to be, can these two Kick Saubers be quick enough on the soft tyre to hunt down the 2 medium-running Mercedes?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll reel it in, but I don't think he's going to get past very easily. I think Pep and Dynasty are not going to make that easy. So we're going to see a pretty big battle here. And now Cooper's pitted P2. So Pep obviously takes the race lead. Dynasty gets the fastest lap. And Cooper goes on the softs as well, which is obviously no surprise. So he will be quick as well. And he's actually split the 2 Mercs. So he's going to be chasing down the race leader now. He's only 5.6 off him. But I think really that Mercedes and Kick on this race are sort of on even playing grounds in terms of the tyres. With the earlier pit stop with the 2 Mercs, their tyres are going to obviously drop off sort of around the same time as those softs will. So very interesting. So we saw the soft not really be that much worse than the mediums.
Well, no, that's exactly the point, isn't it? And we saw the medium runner when Coop and Grizz were running on the mediums. They were able to hold up the soft tyre runners. We've seen that all the way through the grid. So the soft tyres, they probably have a speed advantage. But once you start getting to that slip and getting the dirty air, I think it really neutralizes a lot of the advantage that the soft tire has. So, we talked a little bit earlier about track position being key at a circuit like this. And yes, we've got the DRS. Yes, we've got the slipstream. And Grizz is making a lot of progress on Dynasty at the moment, but that's a 5-second gap to make up, 20 laps to do it. So that's, my math is going to fail me here, but that's at least 0.4 of a second per lap needed to gain all the way through to the end of the race. And you just got to hope that Pep and Dynasty don't have the speed on the mediums. They obviously didn't have as much pace on the softs as they probably wanted. They would have had even more track position at that point were they able to get past the kicks. But yeah, a truly two-way battle happening in the top four. It's Kick Sauber versus Mercedes. It's Pep and Cooper who are part of the big battle of three for the Drivers' Championship, with Ricciardo, who's unfortunately retired from this race as a result of getting the glitch that doesn't allow him to retake control of his car, which we are absolutely gutted about. But they are 1 and 2 at the moment, battling for points in the Drivers' Championship, and we shall see. The gap now coming down to 4 seconds. Ooh. If I was a betting man, Dido, I'd probably say the Kick Saubers are going to be caught up in a reasonably short amount of time.
Yeah, it won't be long. I'd give it a couple more laps, maybe 5 more laps, and they'll be in the DRS, and we'll probably see this battle commence off pretty much to the end of the race. They'll be battling out. It'll be constructor versus constructor. I would be interested to see if we're going to see them all be in DRS of each other. They're pretty much all evenly spread out together. But you never know. Anything could happen. A safety car could really shake it up. You got Broadstar in P5 on the soft, 16 seconds back, and it just shows how much 100% race can shake things up. We haven't had a safety car or a virtual in this race. The guys have been non-stop, all 34 laps. It's a long race here, and it can be quite draining, and Cooper obviously snatches the fastest lap of his teammate.
By some margin.
Yeah.
Crikey. That's about 1.3 seconds. Grizz then replies and says, hello. You can do a 28.9. I can do a 28.8. Thank you very much. I'll take that. And he will. Yeah, I think you're right. It always gets a bit trickier when you get to the 100% race, and the strategy execution becomes absolutely key. And I don't know. We don't know whether or not. I mean, I think what's happened here is these guys with the soft tires now, Grizz and Cooper, they've got clean track. They've got space to sort of stretch their legs, really exercise the car. And we haven't seen the fastest laps of this race were 130, mid 130s, set after the first set of pit stops. Cooper and Grizz now setting the purple timings alight at the moment, and they've got clean air to run these softs in, so they weren't stuck behind traffic at the beginning of this race. Now, that has probably worked to their advantage. Cooper was able to hold up the soft runners heaps at the beginning of this race, and that, I think, has really thrown the strategy for Mercedes today.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think they probably weren't expecting the soft tire also to be that quick and reliable. I mean, I didn't expect it to be able to sort of match the mediums in terms of tire wear, in a sense. It is common on the game, doesn't really follow the normal generic pattern of tire wear. So yeah, very interesting strategies. I don't know. Another team to watch out for here is a driver to watch out for is Flubber and his teammate down P9. He does have a few penalties though and has to pit again. But Flubber is really showing some pace on the timing boards as well. He's really putting in some solid laps and reeling in Broadstar, so he could be up into the P5 mark pretty soon, which is a really good drive for reserving up.
Certainly is, and we've got a little bit of battle here. P13, Deadly Fella trying to hold on. He's missing an end plate on that front wing, so it's an easy overtake for the Red Bull, and wow, down the inside is a launch for... Whoa! Okay. Wogjet has launched it down the inside. The rears come loose, and he's off screen. The camera can't even find him. Exit stage left. Thank you very much. And what was nearly a double overtake for Wogjet nearly turns into a disaster. Doesn't have any damage on the car, so he'll survive that one. Crikey. And yes, Kay Swiffer has just come into the chat and said the classic line, "Can't park there, sir." I'm the only one who's allowed to say that on stream, except for SJ. He's got a British accent. Anyone with a British accent can say that. You can't park there, sir. And he certainly can't.
Camera couldn't even keep up with where he went.
Indeed. And in the meantime, Grizz, boy, he's made some progress. He's up in the P3.
Yeah, wow. That didn't take long. It's only about 3 laps after we said. So he is now on the charge for his teammate. and that's gonna frustrate Merc because they won't be able to really react to that. All he can do is try and stick in the DRS, but
Oh,
I
it's
don't
literally it.
think, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I really think that soft tire is going to be super quick, and they really would be probably praying for some type of safety car. But that soft tire, I guess, will drop off.
Well, this is
Those
it, isn't it?
mediums,
We saw the soft
yeah.
runners at the beginning run for like 15 to 18 laps, and I think there was a lot of people on the softs trying to just extend their lifetime as much as possible. The Kick Saubers have come out and said, I don't care about the level of grip that we're going to have left at the end of the race. Let's absolutely send it. And they're doing exactly that. So through most of these corners, you can see the gap creeping towards that 1 second gap. And Cooper is now right on the back. Actually, I didn't see this happen. I wondered if Pep's had a bit of a problem because it was a 1 second gap. It's now a 0.1 second gap, or just below, for a moment there through Chappell and Beckett. Look at the run that Cooper's got now, and he's going to have the overtake done well before Stowe, and that's it for the race lead. 2 Mercedes drop a position each to the Kick Saubers in a matter of corners. They both hit the go button at the same time, NOS engaged, and those roaring hybrid engines have launched the Kick Saubers, and whoa, it is antics all the way through the grid, and what a moment for Kick Sauber. They're P1, P2, 7 seconds the gap back to Grizz from Pep. And I don't think Pep's going to be able to hold on, but let's keep an eye because Dynasty is still holding on to Grizz, albeit just by his fingernails.
Yeah, mate, he is. That's just, I just can't believe that jump over the curb there.
He's done a Lewis Hamilton, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm not right. That would have just ripped the underfloor off. But yeah, very interesting now. I mean, Merc will have to just push. I mean, they could probably hang on. We saw it earlier in the race with the mediums not really being that much slower than the softs, sort of when they lost that first initial couple of laps of pace. And if the Mercedes can stay in the DRS, the Kicks are in trouble because they will be struggling at the end. Like, there's no doubt about that. Tyres will drop off before the end. And saying that, though, Merc has done a lot more laps than the Kick, like we keep saying. So they're going to be pretty even at the end.
Well, that's right. And so far, Dynasty is doing a really good job in P4 to try and hold onto that slipstream. He's just dropped outside of it, though, so he's going to have to be quick through Maggots and Beckett's to make sure that he can hold on to that. But will it be enough? If he can't do that, I mean, there's still an opportunity for them. Yeah, he's lost a couple of tenths through that sector there. That's not going to work his way, sadly, and now Grizz is well and truly released. But if Pep can hold on, you're right, there will be another crossover. We saw that happen earlier in the race when the soft runners sort of started to lose their edge. The medium runners started to run away with things, and that could well be a time that comes again. We're only on lap 38. We have 14 laps to go. Sector 3 yellow, and that is Daz out of this race, and he is in the pit stops and gone.
Yeah, we're having a double Haas pit and quit.
Oof, never like to see it. 4 DNFs in this race, so down to 16 drivers remaining. Sector 1 yellow flags will of course be out until the driver fully disconnects from the lobby. Kryptonic, very quick with the Haas in the mud message. You guys in chat, always very, very quick onto this stuff. Very quick to judge, and we love you for it. Quick bit of housekeeping while we head towards the last part of the Division 4 race. Stay tuned, of course, here on Twitch for Rush Racing League. We've got Division 2 coverage coming up for you as well a little bit later on. And Dido will be racing, so come and watch the antics. You might be able to put the Dido in the mud. No, I'm not gonna jinx your race, Dido. I'm sure you'll have a good one out there today.
Yeah, it's reserving up, obviously, from Div 3, so we'll see how we go. But, yeah, should be a good one, mate.
Glory to be had out on the circuit when you reserve up, right? That's always the dream. We shall see what happens. Dynasty has extended the gap out to 2... Sorry, he's lost the gap now to 2 seconds, so Grizz is well and truly going for it. But if you just keep an eye, Grizz is not able to really pull any more of the gap out from Pep, so it's still hovering around 7 seconds. Flubber picks up a 3-second time penalty. We'll review the penalties now, but Pep lost the the slipstream, I should say. Thank you very much, my vocabulary. The slipstream has been lost, the DRS has been lost, and that is looking like a bit of a disaster for the Mercedes. We'll have a little look at what they are going to do later on. Here's the penalties up on your screen right now. 3 seconds for Flubber, 3 seconds for Salmons, 3 for Stoyne, 6 for Alamadi, 3 for RJK, reserving for McLaren today, and 3 for Dutch Verstappen.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. So A lot of penalties, but we're only one position off everyone getting points, so it's definitely worth staying to the end and trying to get some points for your team, or if you're reserving in, and some points. But there is some penalties racking up, and we'll see even more probably towards the end when the tyre wear starts to even ramp up even more. So
Indeed. We've
I
had
think,
a... Yeah, sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
yeah. Yes, I just saw that request, but just noticing there's probably a lot of guys that still have to pit, obviously. Like, a lot of guys still haven't done pit stop. I think Deadly's one of them. But a lot of guys won't be able to get to the end on their tyres. Very interesting to see where the final sort of order is going to be and what's going to happen with the Kick versus Merc situation.
That's right. This is going to be a switch up, and this is a big point swing actually as well in both the constructors and the drivers' championship. We shall see. Okay, onboard lap with Cooper, I believe. Yes, it is. So Plugger has redeemed some channel points. Remember, you can redeem channel points for a full onboard lap. So here we go, round at the farm and village with Cooper. He's on the soft tyres, and he's banked up about half of his DRS. Nice and smooth run through there. Hits the apex nicely. Gets the power down beautifully. Now the exit through Aintree. Don't run too deep across that apex. It's been known to send cars into space if you get the unlucky angle. And now Brooklands and the final part of the... Technically the final part of the lap that I'm used to. I'm used to driving this track in ACC, where this is actually the last corner. Second to last corner. That is the Luffield. Now Woodcote. As you head, you can slightly cut this corner here to get yourself a little bit of time. Careful of that 3-second penalty. I think a few people have run afoul of that corner.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. A traction, depending if you run no traction, it's terrible to try and get the power down there. Always getting wheel spin, so they'll have to limit that if they're trying to save the softs. You'd be watching the throttle inputs out of the corner, which at the moment they are full throttle, so I presume there's a bit of maybe traction control there or something. But yeah, big push here. They're 2 seconds away where Cooper is on Pep, and Grizz is 3.4 seconds over Dynasty. So they need more, though. They need a fair bit more, just to avoid any sort of comeback at the end from the Mercedes.
Yes, I did. I think actually I did just read that Plugger said change it to Grizz. I'm so sorry. I actually missed that message, Plugger. My bad indeed. We have another request here to go on board with Pep for a lap. So we're going to go on board with Pep for a lap. And I tell you what, we'll give you a little bit of a freebie. We'll go on to Grizz as well. If someone wants to redeem for Dynasty, that'll cover off the top 4. We'll do a little bit of the switcheroo here just to make absolutely sure. We have watched Pep for a long time. The grid has been very, very spread out. Currently, the battle, Alamadi versus RJK versus Master, is the one that we do want to switch back onto. So after we do a lap on board with Pep, we will try and switch back to that, and we'll get over to the 3-way battle that's happening for the top 10, and then we'll do a little bit of an onboard with Grizz as well, just as a freebie, because I missed that episode slightly. My indeed apologies. We were doing our best over here in the commentary box.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't mind, mate. It's just very interesting up the top, though, and these guys all engineering the drive, just trying to get, obviously, as much info as they can on what's happening around him. But Cooper's saving a lot of battery. He's very comfortable in that spot. He is itching away a little bit further, 2.6 now. It's not massive, but it's starting to creep away ever so slightly. So very one-to-one monitor.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on that. So Sector 2 yellow. Looks like we've got a spun Red Bull on track. Something has happened between Master and Alamadi. No, it is Alamadi and... Oh, I'm so sorry. There we go. Yes, Alamadi and Master seem to have made contact with each other. There's a missing front end plate on the Aston Martin. So that battle we wanted to have a little look at. Sadly, we've actually missed the key moment in the battle, which has resulted in contact between the Aston Martin, who cannot turn corners and has rejoined the track in an absolutely unfortunate way. Master has slammed into the side of the RB. Luckily, neither have actually spun round, but I think he caught the curb there, didn't he? And it just launched the car back to the right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was, to be fair, but I'll definitely be looked at after the race. Yeah, interesting stuff, to say the least. But big damage on the front of the Aston. You have to pit. Yeah, he's pitting now, so he'll pit and probably go softs to the end.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, of course, so might as well at this stage. And I don't think that was an intentional bad rejoin there. I think his car just got completely away from him. I don't think that was him actually trying to rejoin the track. I think he just ran over the curb with full steering lock, and the car's rear end just said no thanks and dived back to the inside. So I think that's just unlucky. I don't think that was an intentional rejoin. Wogjet now, of course, makes the position on Master while he's in the pits. And yeah, we've got a number of people who need to pit. Stoin, certainly one. RJK, Alamadi, all on very high tyre wear at the moment. So we shall see. We'll do the mandatory onboard with Grizz because that's what was requested. It'll be a shorter one. We'll be keeping a very close eye. If any action starts to happen, then we shall see. But it has been one of those races, where, the longer Grand Prix and the moment there for Grizz, crikey. Rear end not happy on those soft tyres, and that might just indicate that the soft tyres are reaching the point in their life and they're not quite as usable. But 4-second gap between Pep and Cooper, 6-second gap between Dynasty and Grizz, so they're pretty safe at the moment. But these last 9 laps of this Grand Prix will tell, and the grid very much spread out, very, very wide. This is the nature when the strategies are so diverse, and Division 4 has really given us a plethora of different strategies today. This is just what tends to happen, and we have to just focus on a few drivers and see what they're doing over the course of the race. That is just the nature of it. Wow, that car looks unstable.
Yeah, I think that's not good. Obviously, it'll start to hurt the tyres a bit, but Dynasty is definitely not reeling in that gap in any way, Sean. So it's not hurting him yet, but I think he's lost that sort of optimal edge that obviously the softs had. It'll be very hard to reel in Pep still, in my opinion. But you never know. The 3.5-second gap, Cooper well and truly ahead of Pep. He's got that locked in if he can just bring it home safely. But yeah, it's a very interesting setup. I actually did not expect the soft tyres to be able to sort of do what they've done tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm certainly not used to seeing the soft tyre run this long. That's why I think I got your prediction a little bit incorrect. I was like, oh, you predicted something between 8 and 10 laps. No, we've seen them go for 21 laps in a race like this today. If anyone wants to explain why that is in chat, I mean, obviously the degradation is just not there at a circuit like this. And it's not on account of the weather. I mean, it's a bit overcast out there, but we had sun and no rain at a British Grand Prix. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 100% race spreads out the tyre wear a bit, but I was more surprised about the softs being able to keep up with the medium. I think it's just EA being EA. The other way around, medium being able to keep up the soft. But EA, unfortunately, aren't very realistic in a lot of their things sometimes. So hopefully next game there's all these bugs are fixed and we have less issues. But in saying that, it's delivered a great race.
It has indeed. And of course, the season will continue after this as well. We'll be back to our usual full qualifying and half race distance format for Saudi Arabia. I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the format. 16 seconds of penalties for Alamadi, so he's been slapped with another penalty there. I think that's a 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty because he was on 6. He's now on 16 seconds, so things going slightly bad to worse. There's the number of stops. Everyone done the 1 stop so far, except for Master. We do expect Stoin to come back in for a pit stop at some point very, very soon. His teammate Flubber trying to chase down the gap. These two have been separated by absolutely nothing on track all race long. Now they've got 2 seconds between them, but it is still equal tyre wear between the two. So it's going to come down to who does the best racing out there today on track. 2-second gap for 5th place battle. Then it's T. Salmons. This will actually be one of his good results here today. He's had I want to say, a bit of a quiet race, but, hats off to him. The Red Bull is a rare sight for us in Division 4 up this high of the grid.
Yeah, he's having a great race. Obviously, that penalty will hurt him a little bit. He'll drop
Sorry
down.
to interrupt, Dido. Sorry to interrupt here, but there is no damage on Pep's car, but he's suddenly a lot further behind. He's lost 2 seconds, and Grizz is now in DRS range.
Yeah, wow. So what's happened there? I wonder if his tyres have just hit the cliff. I doubt it. That's only 20 laps. I mean, we saw 30 on the kicks, so... yeah, that's interesting. And now he's in all sorts because Grizz is going to line him up and get it done with no issues. Pep has to try and defend it. He's going to try and hang around the outside and he's going to have to fight it. He's going to go back down, hold the line, and gets it done. Grizz will have the outer grip, though. Be able to get the traction down a bit earlier. Pep did well there. That was a good defense. But we'll see what Grizz can do here. It's only a matter of time before he gets this job done, I think. I think something's happened to Pep. He either has some type of invisible damage, or maybe his tyres have just dropped off dramatically.
Yeah, we're hoping it's not anything too serious. We want to continue to see the fight. Here's the head through Aintree, and this is going to be another opportunity down the Wellington Straight for Grizz. Will he be able to make it happen on the inside line? Beautiful defense before, as you said, by Pep, and that's what you've got to do at Stowe. It's how you defend it. You just got to hold it around the outside, hold that outside apex speed as much as possible. You see the wider lines taken by Pep. I think he is struggling on tyres. I don't think there's any damage on that car, unless he's flipped it into a barrier 100 miles off the right or left-hand side of the circuit. We would have seen a yellow if that was the case. So here we go through Copse, and you can see the advantage in tyre and speed there for Grizz. He's going to try and line them up on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, which is going through now. Chapel will be a good place if he can nail it. Nice tight line there. Yeah, he's opening up Chapel, and there you go. Acceleration is happening much sooner than the Mercedes, and Stowe is the next corner. Pep doesn't hold off the inside, interestingly enough. He might try for the switchback. Let's get the cameras going. No. And that is Grizz up into P2 pretty consistently, pretty cleanly. Master hovering in the background there. He's coming on through and wants to be part of this battle, even though it's not for position. He definitely wants to be there, wants to get a little bit of excitement back into his race. 1-2 for Kick Sauber. We haven't seen this since Monza at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's been a massive drive from them, and I just don't think Mercedes can respond to this. I think their tyres have had it. And if Pep can hang in the DRS, maybe he'll be able to have something to say. But those tyres, 22 laps, they're not too far. Grizz's tyres also dropping off though. 47 laps out of 52. They are trying to. They're going to have to try and make contact with the Mercedes.
I was about to say, yeah, just into the braking zone at Farm and Village. He was really fast into the corner. He's obviously on slightly better tyres, 4-lap-old medium tyres versus 22-lap-old mediums and 16-lap-old soft. So he's got a pace advantage, and we know if he hadn't have had his disconnect issues today, he probably would have been right up there in this battle. But yeah, he nearly made contact. I don't know if there was actually contact, but certainly the rear end of that Mercedes was suddenly very, very close. I guess the Mercedes team just saying, have at it, chaps. Go for it. No, it's not two Mercedes. It's a Aston Martin, sorry. So Master is going for it, wants to be part of the transaction here, taking the change from the restaurant meal that they've just had.
Yeah, well, he needs to be careful. Obviously, he doesn't want to get involved in this battle at all and cop a big penalty if he does anything there. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. He's very close, but he's just obviously on a faster tyre at the moment, so we'll have to see what happens. But this battle isn't going anywhere yet. Pep isn't falling out of that DRS. He's managing to hang on, but he's having to burn his batteries. 30% battery.
Oh, there is contact now. Master has got into the back of Pep, and he's actually lost himself a front end plate as well. We saw it fly off into the distance. So Master is he's not accounting for the difference in tyre strategies, and he's actually interfering now with a battle, which is the battle for P2 in this race. I get the feeling that'll be costing him a trip to the steward's office for this. We do need to talk driver of the day. We are 3 laps now to the end of this race, Dino. There's a few people we can put up for the vote, and hopefully we've got an admin and chat that can put up the poll for us. Yes, K-Swiffer, you're there. Josh is there. Fantastic. Dino, you're under the bus first, mate. Hot potato to you. Driver of the day nomination from you, please.
Grizz for sure. 10 spots up tonight, and massive drive on the softs as well to get his car into that P2 position. Obviously still battling out with Pep, but for me that's my driver of the day.
Fantastic, right. And Master is trying to go for an overtake. I think he thought better of it. Yeah, he did. Oh dear, it's a pretty nerve-wracking stuff right now. I'm gonna have to take a little look at the position change while I do this. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to vote Grizz, but that's already on there. So let's see. I think, to be honest, in terms of the championship battle here, Pep is on a resurgence. And despite what's going on behind him right now, he's held his nerve very, very nicely. I'm going to give it to Pep today. So those are the driver of the day nominations. It's Grizz and Pep. can we please have the poll put up as soon as possible? And here we go. Here's the regulations. Regulation 4.4: a lapped driver must not attempt to unlap themselves if there are 2 or more cars on the lead lap battling, which is the case. This will be heavily enforced with severe penalties. If you are a lap down, then you must allow the cars on the lead lap to race and not interfere with their battles. In this situation, the lap driver must wait for the battle to end, which may take several corners, sectors, / laps, if at all. We have a redemption for an onboard lap. We want it to be Grizz. Okay, we will go on board with Grizz for a lap, but we do want to keep an eye on this. So there we go. We're on board as we head through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Driver of the day poll is up. Get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see who is the driver of the day for round 17 at Silverstone Grand Prix. And it is Division 4 you're watching. Division 2 coverage coming up a little bit later on tonight. You get to watch this man. It's Dido going around this circuit and working his magic, reserving up today. I'm hyping you up, man.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate that, but we'll talk about Grizz.
You can blame any bad race results on me today. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, mate, I definitely will, for sure. But Grizz, yeah, doing really well here, obviously, to hold off Pep. He will be feeling the pressure, but his tyres are definitely not struggling at the moment. He's got way more battery than Pep. Way more, and just being able to just hold off. He'll try and save as much as he can for these last sort of 2 laps. Pep will be doing the same, but the issue is these guys can't let off too much because Master obviously very close, and he's really forcing their hand to drive fast at the moment. So yeah, very interesting to see